Welcome to the R2 Cents podcast. My name is Scott Hanson. I'm your host today. We're doing something a little bit different. We're out on location at the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California. We're a little north of Bakersfield. This is a event that happens every year about this time, and it's about a 4-day event. It's on about 200 acres, 60 acres of which is exhibit space. There's about 100,000 people who come through each year from all over the world to this expo. So we're going to do some interviews on site. It's a little new format for us, so bear with us. The audio quality may be a little up and down, but sit back, relax, and enjoy as we bring you some of the Ag Expo via the R2 Cents podcast.
Welcome back to the Our 2 Cents podcast, the show where your local professionals sit down with an array of guests to hear their story and impart some wisdom for both business and life-improving skills. This is your place to hear business and community leaders discuss relevant topics that matter to you.
So, Robert and Caitlin.
Yes.
Okay, both students over at Cal Poly.
Yes.
Cal Poly San Luis.
Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Okay, so you guys have a booth out here at the Ag Expo, and
Yes.
tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Why are you guys out here today?
Well, we are both first years, and we are here with Cal Poly ambassadors talking to incoming or potentially incoming students, helping to encourage them to pick Cal Poly as their future four-year college.
Excellent. And did you guys get into Cal Poly as ag students?
Yes, I am currently studying agriculture communications.
And I'm a wine and viticulture student here at Cal Poly.
Ah, very nice. So are you guys from the area, from the Central Valley to begin with?
Yes, I'm from just outside of Sacramento, Rancho Cordova area, so
Okay.
top of the valley.
Fantastic.
And I'm a local. I'm just like half an hour away from Cal Poly, so that's pretty good.
Ah, very nice. So you guys mentioned that the high school buses were in this morning. Here we are recording this on Wednesday, and you had quite a big turnout. I guess they made it through this booth and a lot of other ones from colleges.
Yes, we had about 7 or 8 ambassadors here, and I think for a solid 3.5 hours we were talking to people constantly. There was a ton of kids here with their different high schools and their different FFA chapters wanting to know more about our agriculture college itself.
That's fantastic. So why, first I'll ask you the question, why go ag?
Personally, I found my passion in ag through the same club, which is Future Farmers of America, which a lot of the students that are here are involved. Within this program, I was able to find not only my passion, but the skills that correlate with the industry. Through that, I found my specific branch in agriculture, where I'm focusing on the wine and viticulture department and just working my way through there.
Fantastic. Next question, why choose Cal Poly?
Cal Poly is not only a beautiful campus, but it has such a beautiful learning by doing motto, and the Cal Poly alumni are one of the most special groups of people to talk to. Everyone at Cal Poly supports one another. The faculty are rooting for you and want to help you shine in your future, and then the alumni outside want to help with your networking and connections and are constantly proud to support incoming freshmen.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for talking with me today. I appreciate you both.
Yeah, of course.
So, Russell with Live Earth Products, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're out here at Ag Expo, live on the scene out here, and tell me a little bit about why you guys are out here, what you guys are doing.
So Live Earth Products was founded 30 years ago. So we've been doing this for a long time. We mine and manufacture organic acids, humic and fulvic acids, and they're used to help stabilize nutrients and make them last longer. So farmers are using them to improve the utilization of their nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium.
And so is that useful throughout the entire United States? Do you guys focus on, for example, the Central Valley here or Utah where you guys are from?
Anything with roots. Humic acid is a component of your soil organic matter. So we focus on soils that have low organic matter and some soil conditions like high salts, which is endemic in some of the Central Valley area where you just have high salts, low organic matter. Those are areas where we do real well. But yeah, our products are used all over the United States. In addition to ag, we also do like turf and landscape.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Are there particular crops that this is especially good for?
Again, it's really soil type. So you can see it used in corn, soybeans, even cannabis crops here in California. So it's not a crop specific, more it's a soil type condition.
Okay, and who are your buyers? Are they the actual producers or are you wholesaling to fertilizer companies?
We primarily work through like co-ops, farmer co-ops.
Okay.
In Utah, Intermountain Farmers Association is a co-op that uses our products. Locally here in California, you would see our products distributed through companies like Penny Newman Grain Company.
Okay.
We're a small family business, so we try to partner. There's no sense in recreating a distribution circle when that's already being done by these distributors.
So you say it was founded 30 years ago. I take it that was family that got everything
my father
started?
opened in the early 80s. It's a fun story to tell, but at the time it felt like work for me. You know, my father's out drilling the holes, and I'm a little 9-year-old kid out there getting the sticks of dynamite ready for him. So yeah, Yeah, it's a fun family
Sounds like
story.
a pretty fun upbringing. Are you guys still using the dynamite? Is that still how it
still
all works?
Class A explosives. We still, it's a simple process. So the deposit we mine is an ancient tropical forest.
Okay.
And it's got a sandstone layer on top. And so we'll drill that, blast it off, and then the soft, rich, organic matter is below it. And we just scoop it out, screen it, and process it for farmer use.
So how much is involved in the processing? Do you guys have a plant there?
I'd like to say it's really complex, but really it's just we're screening and granulating the raw material.
Okay.
The extraction process is just like making a cup of tea. We take the raw ore, add water, let it sit, and out come the plant-derived minerals that are trapped in that ancient plant material.
Does this get considered organic?
Yes.
I imagine it would.
Oddly enough, all of our core products are certified organic.
Okay.
Most of the people that use them are conventional producers.
Okay.
So they're mixing our humic acid with, I'll give you an example. We did a University of Tennessee trial. We used a UAN32. It's a 3200 nitrogen fertilizer. We got more use out of that nitrogen fertilizer by blending these organic acids with that conventional fertilizer.
Okay, fantastic. So do you guys handle your own logistics and shipping as well?
No, we outsource all that. So
okay, and is California, is the Central Valley a big user of your product? Okay.
Yes, pardon the pun, but yes, tons and tons of material.
Literally.
But we do some very high-end retail. So let's say, for example, the Rose Bowl Stadium. We've been on the Rose Bowl Stadium since 2006.
Okay.
So our products are used in other industries, but yeah, Central Valley is a big part of our business.
Okay, and are there areas, so you mentioned here in the valley, we do have some of that kind of briny soil, I imagine, right? And that's where you guys would come in.
Yes.
Are there other areas that you're seeing that are starting to open up across the country for farming because of this type of product?
So the nutrient stabilization was less of an issue when we're cheap. You know, when urea is $200 a ton, farmers could be really inefficient with it. You know, when it went up to $1,200 a ton, all of a sudden they had to be very specific and they had less of an opportunity because it was impacting the bottom line.
Yeah.
So places that are using a lot of urea and a lot of UAN32 are using more humic acids simply because they're trying to impact nutrient use efficiency, making those nutrients last longer.
Okay, fantastic. So a lot of our audience is local in Bakersfield. They don't always get out to the Ag Expo. If somebody hasn't been out before, what would you let them know?
The Ag Show is a great place to be. Absolutely come. I have fun every year. I have a 3-year-old son, and him just getting out seeing these tractors and all these things, it's a good place to go out and see some stuff you don't normally see. So Ag Show, it's a good place to be, and I'd absolutely come.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Russell, how can people find out more about your company after the show if they have questions for you?
So Live Earth Products, livearth.com. We're always available locally through some of your irrigation supply companies and also landscape supply companies.
Okay, fantastic. Russell, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So tell me about your company and what you guys are doing.
Okay, so Afrikelp is a South African company, which is the core business is around seaweed. So this seaweed or kelp, this seaweed growth is a wild environment that you can find only, this species only you can find in South Africa. So it's an endemic species. This is the terminology, or much easier. You can find only in South Africa, this species. We have presence in more than 40 countries. So, and in the United States, we have been 8 years.
Okay. And you guys are based in Fresno, California?
Yeah, we are based in Fresno, California. We do business in California and Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joaquin, I got to ask you, how do you go from seaweed in South Africa to located and headquartered in Fresno, California?
Okay, it's an interesting question. This product we developed, first of all, in Chile and also South Africa. So this product, or this seaweed extract, works really well in any crops. When you apply in any crop, produce different effects, root stimulation, better size categories in different fruits, quality parameters. So anyway, so we developed this product in South Africa and in Chile, Latin America, and in Europe. In any crops works. And the company in South Africa realized, hey, we need to go to the United States. There's a big market. So then we came here, we test the product, the market responds really well in California, and then boom, yeah.
And so how long has this been a product, or how long has this been a concept of using seaweed?
Okay, I will say seaweed has been in the industry probably 20 years, this company, 20 years. Seaweed, you can find any seaweed product or any companies worldwide. So there are many species. Which is important for this seaweed or this product is the organic compound that has Ecklonia maxima, which is the name of the species, is really valuable, is really useful for different crops. We standardize we test each batch. We standardize our product. We can get a consistent result because we standardize, we blend. So we sell just one concentration of the organic compounds that Afrikelp has.
Okay, and is there any crops that it does not work on, or is really across the board?
Across the board. So yeah, any crops. But basically, our main focus is tree crops or valuable crops. We apply several times during the season, and invaluable crops is much better to use. But even raw crops, soybean, corn. So in Midwest, yeah.
So now, are you guys wholesaling this to another product that then mixes it and distributes it, or are you direct to the farmer?
Okay, our strategy is go through dealer or distributor, then go on land to the farmers, you know. But we should and we need to be close to the farmer. It's extremely important because it's a extremely, technical product. So we need to teach, we need to train the farmer, but also the PCA or the, let's say, salesman in our partner, which is dealer or distributor.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like so many things, the product may work really well as long as it's used properly, right?
Yes.
And so you guys have done all this back testing to make sure how it works on various crops. You need to pass that information on.
Exactly. Part of our key purpose is to set a lot of trials through third parties, and also we have our own research in house here in California, but also in South Africa, because when you have some specialty product, this is not a commodity seaweed, it's a specialty product that you need to run many trials, many data. The farmer, if you want to be in the business for the long term, you have to have a good data, good information to advise our market, our farmer or customer.
So do you find that it has a different impact, say here in our valley, California Valley, as opposed to in Chile or in South America?
I will say the good thing, remember that I told you that we standardize our product, is really nice to see that Afrikelp in any crops, any location, any country works in the same direction, in the same trend. So if you go to Chile looks like California. We farm the same crops, tree crops and vegetables. When you go to Chile, it looks, this is California. And in South Africa or in Europe, anytime that we apply our product, looks the same. So it's really consistent result, which is extremely important for the farmer. The farmer, they are not looking for 1 year good result and another year doesn't work. So they look for consistent result.
Now, Joaquin, did you come to this valley and to Fresno with the company, or did you come separately from
No,
Chile?
I came with the company. So the company. Okay. So basically, at the beginning of when I joined to Afrikelp, I was based in Chile, supporting the business worldwide in Europe, South America, and Asia. And suddenly I came to California, and the feedback was really good to the farmers, and the company said maybe you need to go to California, and we moved with my family, working by Afrikelp, and luckily the success so far has been good.
We have some young listeners that are getting into the college years and trying to figure out what they want to do in the ag business, and they wanted to come to work for a company like Afrikelp. What would they specialize in? Would you recommend the agriculture of engineering? Would it be biology?
No, I will recommend Bachelor of Science, any Bachelor of Science or any Master of Degree that they want to work in some small but nice company that they like to build in a long term the business in United States. Please come or join us. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. And so after the show, if people have more questions about the company, about Afrikelp, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, okay. So they can go directly to our website, which is afrikelp-usa.com, directly. And also they can contact to my email, which is jorellana@afrikelp.com. Maybe it's very difficult.
No, we'll put it in the show notes so everybody will know how to get
in the website.
They'll be able to find you.
No, on the website. Yeah.
Joaquin, thank you very much. Sure appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely, it was a really pleasure to meeting you and share more about Afrikelp.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Greg, welcome to the Our 2 Cents podcast. Thanks for being on. So tell us a little bit about California Berry Genetics.
Thank you for asking. My name is Greg Willems. I'm the owner of California Berry Genetics. I've been growing blueberries in the Central Valley for about 20 years and studied them in college. And I've always had an interest in plants and trying to figure out what works the best for the farmers because I am a farmer. And we have progressed in our thing quite a bit. In the last 5 years, we've entered the nursery sector of it. We wanted to supply our growers with the best nursery stock that was grown here in California for California growers and like climates. We also do international business as well. So I guess our goal is to have plants that are adaptable, that machine harvest well, and of course fruit quality and appearance is definitely a big thing. That's a big part of what we look for. So yeah.
What's the seasonal window here in the Central Valley for blueberries?
The primary harvest is from May 1 till about to July the 5th or so, and then Southern Oregon starts.
Okay, and so is that mostly in the foothills here on the east side of the valley?
There's a lot of production in the South Kern Valley all the way to the Grapevine. There's growers that have been doing it for about 22 years down there. We produce more in the Reedley area, Reedley, Kingsburg, Dinuba area. So I would say foothills to actually the west side of the valley, there's growers as well. So there's blueberries spread out all throughout the valley in different growing regions.
What's the life of the plant?
Our oldest plants are about 18 years old. I would say probably 15 years would be probably about accurate.
Okay, and it's all drip irrigation, I imagine, right?
Yeah, drip irrigation, and if you need frost control, you can run overhead set. I got cold this morning down to 26, and so we were running our solid set overhead sprinklers to protect our early varieties.
Okay, fantastic. And you say you've been doing this about 5 years.
Correct.
With this company. And where'd you study?
I studied at Fresno State, and it's kind of quite an interesting story. Professor Bowerman was there in 2006. 2004, and we were growing peaches, nectarines, and other things, and I actually didn't own a piece of land, and he says, there's two things that are going to be good, Pinot Noir wine and blueberries, and I'm growing blueberries in Dinuba at my house. So we went for a student barbecue, and the rest is history. I went out and rented 5 acres from some people at church, and all I had was a quad and a sprayer and stuff, and so now we farm over 500 acres of commercial blueberries. We pack and market for growers, and now that my dream has always been to work with plants and work in genetics. I love working with the growers, and I just love plants.
Wow, that's fantastic. So had blueberries been a crop in California for very much time?
That's a great question. Blueberries have been grown in California for probably 40 years. The first growers up near Sebastopol, California, and there was a small plot there, and then Jeff Knapp out of Atwater. I would say he was the pioneer. I'm not the pioneer. Jeff Knapp and his wife were in Atwater, and that was like in the mid-'80s. And Jeff, great guy, great wife, and they kind of pioneered drip irrigation and blueberries. And so it's been the valley. But the plantings have been in the last, I'd say, 15, 17 years. It's really expanded. And, my dad, Paul Willems, introduced the method of injecting sulfuric acid into the water, and that had been the problem in the Central Valley because of our alkaline soil. So running the sulfuric acid helps us manage the pH, which enables the plants to pick up all the nutrients and thrive.
So what other regions are the biggest competitors to California blueberries?
Right now it's been Mexico. You got to understand, we're in an international market now. Processing, they're growing all over the world. But California has a place here. As long as we've got sufficient water, obviously our labor is higher, but a lot of the retailers have came out and said, we really do support California farmers and we need a good food source. But, Mexico's definitely been a competitor for us, cheaper labor. Things are a little bit easier there, but I really do believe that the family farms here, if they do things right, they'll survive.
Greg, where can some of our listeners pick up your blueberries? What retailers can they find them?
We deal with a lot of retailers, but we do a lot with Sprouts Farm Market, Walmart. Walmart's been great. My son and I did the commercial for them. Sprouts has been my first partner I started with. They gave me my break in the industry, and I'm really thankful for the team at Sprouts. The buyers and everybody have been wonderful to us.
Greg, I really appreciate you coming on. If people want to find out more about your company afterwards, where do they go to find out about you?
What you can do, you can email us at californiaberrygenetics.com, and I can also give you my mobile number, which I really prefer. I'm out in the field a lot with the growers. It's 559-859-9661, and the office number is 559-724-9169, and my email is greg@californiaberrygenetics.com.
Greg, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Gary, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Gus. This is some pretty amazing technology you guys have developed.
Yeah, so Gus was developed out of a need. So Dave Crinklaw, the CEO of our company, he's had a farm service business here in California for the last 40 years. And the majority of what he does in that company is spraying trees and vines. So he grew that business to be the largest commercial application company in California. We even go all the way out to Arizona and do some spraying out there. And over the years, the number one challenge he had was just keeping tractor drivers in the company and attracting them to come do the spraying for him. Very challenging to hire that kind of work because almost all of it's done at nights. We're going far away from home for these employees, so they spray all night long, they sleep in a motel, and then they go do it again, and they're away from home for a week or two on end. Driving tractors at 2 miles an hour, with the chemicals and all that. So over the years, he just always had this idea of, I really need to innovate and solve my problem, and had this idea of a driverless sprayer. Eventually, 2014, he finally kind of got to a tipping point where he decided, I got to start doing this, and drew on the shop floor what he thought the first autonomous orchard sprayer should look like, and just started building it. So
it really grew out of manned vehicles, sprayers, and then just kind of evolved into this driverless. I'm going to try to describe this for our listeners of what I'm looking at. It's essentially a giant tank on wheels, completely autonomous driving. So it's sensing where it's going the entire time. You must have cameras around the whole thing that are sensing obstacles and things in its way. It's driving up and down rows of trees, spraying, and probably any other kind of crop as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So big challenge in our development was that when you get under a tree canopy, like the almonds or walnuts or pistachios, you lose GPS signal. So you can't just rely solely on that. So there's other sensors on the machine, like a LiDAR and such, that essentially are looking out at the trees and keeping the machine centered down that tree row. They also provide safety for the machine. So if there's an obstacle in the way, the machine will stop safely and notify the supervisor that it stopped. So the main crops we're spraying are trees and vines, so permanent crops. Almonds, pistachios, walnuts, pecans, citrus, you got stone fruit, cherries, apples, crops like that. And then your grapes, table grapes, wine grapes. So
do you have one vehicle that you're adding attachments to handle different types of crops, or do you have different models?
So we do have different models. We have our original Gus sprayer that's meant for predominantly the nut trees, so it's like our largest machine. And then we have Mini Gus, which was developed out of a need for the growers that have vineyards and high density orchards, anything with a tighter spacing, so it's just a physically smaller machine. Both those machines are air blast sprayers, so they spray the actual foliage of the trees and vines. And then our third model is our herbicide Gus, which we just debuted at this World Ag Expo. And actually, we're honored with the Top 10 Winner Award as well for that machine.
Yeah,
so really excited about that
That's
one.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the efficiency as opposed to a human ran machine. I imagine that you mentioned driving at 2 miles an hour. I understand that is a pretty monotonous job, driving all night long at 2 miles an hour, because you can't go any faster, right? Or you don't end up getting the application quite right.
Yes, that's correct. So spraying trees and vines, you have to go slow. Give the fan enough time to really cause turbulence into the tree canopy and coat the entire leaf of the tree with that product that you're applying. So very monotonous, very slow, and most of it's done at nights. So it's just not the most fun job.
It sounds like the ideal thing to go automated on and autonomous.
Exactly.
On.
So, there's a saying that the 3 Ds need to be automated, jobs that are the 3 Ds. So dull, dirty, and dangerous. So dull, 100%. It's a boring job.
Checks that box.
Dirty, we're out spraying chemicals. And dangerous, again, the chemical aspect. So in the conventional business, you have the employees in PPE. You try to keep them 100% protected, but there's always that chance of accidental exposure to those materials. With Gus, you don't have that concern. There's no driver on the machine, so you keep your employees in a safe environment while these machines are out doing their job.
So are they being transported on site via trailer, or are they literally driving from a storage location to the site?
So if we're going over public roads, yes, it is trailer. Once we're on the farm, then the machines drive around autonomously from field to field. once they're done, they need to go back to their shop or something, they go autonomously. So we have a few different ways of doing that. We can either just build a route for the machine and have it drive on its own route to get around the farm, or you can do follow me from the supervisor's pickup. He'll essentially click on the sprayers on his computer and tell him to follow him, and starts driving his pickup, and they follow like a bunch of ducks right behind him.
Wow, that is amazing. When it comes to manpower, what amount of reduction for the farmer in manpower does this result in? Because you must still have to have people on site refilling them, tuning them up, some kind of maintenance going on, but it must be quite a reduction in overall manpower.
Yeah, so our goal when we started this is we wanted one supervisor to be able to monitor up to 8 of them at a time. And essentially that person sits in either a pickup truck or like a John Deere Gator or something like that with a computer and is watching them. And then you have your nurse trucks, so a couple employees in nurse trucks that are essentially mixing the material and bringing the material to the sprayers and then filling the sprayers with their spray material and just keeping them going. So we'll still have a small fleet, but a lot less people than you do conventionally.
Well, and each one of those human drivers is also on some kind of 8 or 10 hour shift, probably 12-hour shift, and so you're, in order to go 24 hours a day, you're actually talking about 2 or 3 people per machine in savings. So that is quite a savings. So are you guys selling these across the country, worldwide? Are you focused here in the Central Valley? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we are based in Kingsburg, right here in the Central Valley, just south of Fresno. That's where we've had our farm service business for 40 years now, and that's where we built a new facility for Gus, and we manufacture the machines right there. So the majority of our machines today are based in California, but we also have some in Oregon and Washington and Arizona, Hawaii, Florida, Georgia, and Australia.
Is your emphasis on selling the machines, or is it leasing?
Right now we are selling the machines. We also still run them in our own commercial spray business, but the vast majority of our machines out there are being sold direct to the customers through our dealerships. So we use mostly John Deere dealers, and they're the ones that are supporting the machines. They're training the customers how to operate them. They're providing parts, service, and really just making sure the customers are successful.
So would we see some of these machines running during spray time, say driving up and down, well, they won't be driving up and down the 5 freeway, but if we're driving up and down the 99 or 5 freeway, I guess we could end up seeing some of these out our window in the fields.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're getting more and more of them out there. At this point, we have just over 200 units, 200 machines out running in the field, and we've sprayed over 1 million acres with Gus's between our fleet and our customers' machines. So really excited about that, and just getting more and more of them out there.
So you did mention that you guys do some other ag expos, and here we are at the World Ag Expo in Tulare. For those who haven't been out, maybe let us know why people should come out and check things like this out.
So yeah, we always say the World Ag Expo is like the Super Bowl of farm shows for us. So this show is really near and dear to our heart. Way back in 2018, this was the show that we debuted Gus at and put on our demonstration. Out here we have a machine that just drives the demo orchard for 3 days straight, 10 hours a day. So
yeah, the honking you hear in the background occasionally is that machine turning around.
Yes, exactly.
Down the lanes of the orchard.
We really wanted to showcase it here and let people watch it, see it driving around autonomously, and it's just really fun to see people's reactions, because they've never seen something like this. So it's a neat show.
Yeah, it really is. Gary, if people want to find out more about Gus after the show, where can they go to find out about you guys?
So gussag.com, gussag.com. That's our website. We're based right in Kingsburg, like I said, so we're always open to having growers come by and tour our facility, and just love to hear from you and reach out to customers. So
Gary, thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Danielle, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being on with us. You guys are some amazing technology, and so I really want to make sure we covered you guys today. The company is Tavel. You guys have partnered with a local company here in the Central Valley to develop the trailer, the
AlphaBot.
The AlphaBot
Yeah.
that your drones mount to and fly on, essentially,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
To harvest apples and stone fruit.
Correct.
All right, you got to describe this for our listeners.
Sure.
And kind of tell us kind of like what we're looking at here and how this technology works.
Sure. So we are Tavel. We are headquartered in Israel. We created flying autonomous robots to gently harvest fruit because, as you know, here in California, there's a major shortage in agricultural labor, and fruit is just being left to rot and waste on the tree. And so we came up with a robotic solution for that using our flying autonomous robots, and we partnered here with a local ag machinery manufacturer by the name of S&S Metal Fabrication. What we did is we took a traditional harvesting platform that usually has human pickers on it. We gave it a high-tech makeover, put 8 of our flying autonomous robots on it to create a robotic system, which we debuted here at the World Ag Expo called the Alphabot. And we'll be taking this system to harvest stone fruit here in California, in Kingsburg, in just about 2 to 3 months, and later on in Washington.
So each one of the AlphaBots carries 8 drones.
Correct.
That are tethered.
Yes.
So it's not battery powered. It's all working off of a tethered connection, both air and power as well, right?
Exactly. So they have a continuous supply of energy, so they don't need brakes. They're not powered by battery. It's powered by a generator. And the advantage here is that means they can harvest 24 hours a day. They can harvest in the day. They can harvest in the night. They don't need brakes. They don't need to go out for lunch or take a bathroom break. They can just continue on picking, and that to the farmer is a huge benefit to them because, as you know, there's very strict labor regulations here when it comes to pickers, and they don't have the hands. And so the technology here is really to maximize the amount of harvesting time.
And so the drones are flying from the trailer up to the fruit, and they are using a suction cup type
Correct.
arm
Yes.
that is pulling the fruit, that's
Yes.
picking the fruit.
Yes, so every one of the flying autonomous robots has a smart gripper, and they connect to each fruit using a suction mechanism. The entire design of each robot is the priority is to protect the quality of the fruit. You don't want to damage it when you're harvesting it. You don't want to bruise it. And so we harvest every single piece of fruit using a suction mechanism. It then turns around after it picks the fruit from the tree, lowers it down to the basket here on the Alphabot, and goes to the bin.
It is really amazing how you have this design. You were showing me before how the drones are reading each other's airspace,
Correct.
understanding its location and proximity to the trailer, where to drop the fruit
Yes.
onto the conveyor belt with amazing precision. It's really impressive.
There is a very sophisticated set of algorithms and artificial intelligence behind every single robot. They have to know where they are in relation to one another. They have to know where are they in relation to the platform, to the tree. There's a lot of real-time calculations that every single robot needs to do. And also, as soon as it harvests the fruit, as soon as you see here, the smart gripper and the suction cup at the end connects to every fruit, on the fly, you can now know the size of the fruit, the weight of the fruit, the color grading, how ripe is it. And so it's very smart and autonomous in the sense.
And so how many passes would this take through apple orchard, for
here,
example?
a system of 8 robots, so the Alphabot here with 8 flying autonomous robots means that there is a piece of fruit being harvested roughly every 2.5 seconds.
Okay, wow. Tell me a little bit about the company Tavel. How long have you guys been around?
Sure. We were founded in 2017, like I said, in Israel. We expanded to the United States a little bit over a year ago to set up our U.S. operations here in California. Also, we set up a base in Italy, and so our R&D is in Israel. This is where we design the robots, we test them, we improve them constantly. We make sure, we continuously upgrade our software. So the real-time data that I'm speaking to you about, we want to provide as much more information to the farmer, and so all of that is done in Israel, and then we operate here in the U.S. and Italy.
How soon do you think that we'll see these operational in-fields harvesting crops?
We already are. So we started already harvesting here using our flying autonomous robots at HMC Farms, which are one of the most prominent farms and growers here in California. We harvested a variety of stone fruit starting last year. And then we went up to Washington and then picked apples. And in Italy, we already have one of the major clients, one of the biggest growers in Europe, working with our technology by the name of Rivoya Group. And so we're there. And now is the part where we're expanding. Like you see, the Alphabot is now a product that we're ready to take to the U.S. market.
What's next? After apples and stone fruit, it seems like you can just carry this technology into just about every crop.
Sure. So now that we're at the stage where we're really mastered apples and stone fruit, of course, on the horizon is citrus, which is something that we're working on, and avocado. We're always adding more fruit and more variety to what we're harvesting. But in the future will be citrus and avocado.
Looking forward to that. So if people want to find out about Tavel after the show, where would they go?
They would go to our website, www.tavel-tech.com. All of our information is there. You can see our videos, and our contact information is there. And look out for us. We're now here to make a mark in California.
Danielle, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Well, that's it from the Ag Expo today. I hope that you enjoyed our show out on location, bringing you some interviews from the Ag Expo. If you haven't been out before, I sure encourage you to get out and check it out for yourself.
The show has been brought to you by the Law Office of Kyle Jones, Troy Burton with the Lynn Company, CPA John Duffield, Scott Hanson Real Estate Lender, broker and investor, Dave Plivlich, President and CEO of the Marcom Group and MarcomBranding.com, and Amanda DiGiacomo, President of Atlas Financial Solutions. You've been listening to the Our 2 Cents podcast. Check out the show notes for links and more information about the show. Also visit our website at our2centspodcast.com or catch us on Instagram at Our 2 Cents Podcasts. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and share with others.